through certain pages or certain areas of the website. So question, when we looked at, we talked about multimedia and hyper multimedia and what it is and so on, but what do you think are the benefits of multimedia? Why do you think multimedia is useful? Is it just for entertainment? Definitely it's for entertainment. Multimedia keeps us entertained. When I'm sitting in a flight on a long journey, I would want to watch a movie, listen to some songs, play some games. This keeps me entertained, but is that the only benefit of multimedia? Entertainment? No, definitely there are more benefits. Let's look at the benefits of multimedia. It makes content more interesting. So instead of reading a book, so if you were to evaluate reading a book and watching a movie, what do you think is more entertaining? Book takes forever, a movie finishes in 2 hours. Yes, so a movie shows you more details, depth, the graphics, the animation, 3D, and so on. It's more entertaining. Okay, and if it's a game, it's even more entertaining because you can interact with it. So multimedia makes things more interesting. It grabs your attention and interest. That means you can focus. You can because you're not just listening. You're not just using one sense. Using multiple senses. Okay, so when you play a game, you use your hands, you use your eyes, you use your ears. So the more senses that are involved means more things that you retain, more things that you remember, keeps you engaged more. It improves ability to remember information. That's why many educational institutions, like you saw the dissection of the frog, they use multimedia to teach students virtually. Okay, it makes things even cheaper and students learn. Okay, so instead of buying like 20 frogs for 20 students and killing 20 frogs, you can give an online lesson to students on how to dissect a frog virtually. So it improves the ability to remember. You can practice over and over again. You can try over and over again. You can learn on your own pace. You don't have to wait for the teacher to finish teaching or just rely on this 2 hours lesson. You can go back, rewind, and play again. You can go back and play it again or learn slowly, learn at your own pace, and it improves the ability to remember because you not only use one sense but multiple senses. There's a research that shows that people remember 20% of what they see, 30% of what they hear, 50% of what they see and hear. So if you just talk about speech, if you're listening to content like on a radio or a podcast, you probably just at the end remember 20%. If you're watching a movie or a video, you would probably remember 30%. But if you 50% because you see and hear. But if you're just listening to a teacher, you might remember at the end of the class only 30% of what the teacher has said. But at the end, if you interact, again, I come back to the dissection of the frog. So you're not just watching somebody else do it, but you're doing it yourself. So you interact, you're seeing, you're hearing, and you're interacting. You remember about 80%. So involve me and I will remember. Okay? Tell me and I may forget, but if you involve me, I will remember. That's the key to interactive multimedia. You involve people and they will remember more. Okay, so that's the benefit of multimedia, and that's why it is used in many fields, not just in education, but also in business, in education, at home, in public places. Everywhere that you go, you will see a great use of multimedia everywhere. Okay, from interactive kiosks to websites to videos to advertisements to presentations. Everywhere you see it's multimedia. So some concepts that you need to know and some terminologies you need to know if you're learning multimedia, and if you visit any inshallah later in the semester we'll plan a visit to Dubai Media Incorporation, Dubai Media, and some of the terminologies. For example, when anybody works, when a team works together to create a multimedia application, This is known as a multimedia project. So the software that they use, the content that they gather to put in this multimedia, all of this together forms the multimedia project. The audio, video, graphics, everything together, and the software that assembles everything forms a multimedia project. At the end, when the multimedia project is ready, when the application is ready, whether the application at the end could be a video, a game, a website, or a virtual animation, anything, at the end, this is known as a multimedia title, which is delivered to the end user. The end user being the audience who is going to view this multimedia title. Okay, so this is known, the finished project, the compiled project is known as a multimedia title. Come with or without instructions, doesn't matter. Many people just figure out how to use the multimedia on their own because it is so interactive and so easy to use, and shipped to the end users. By end users, we mean the audience. And a multimedia project can also be launched on the website. So there are many ways to deliver multimedia content. The title can be released on a CD or on a website. Okay, another question. I don't know if you've heard of these words before, but multimedia projects can be linear or non-linear. What do you think the word linear and non-linear means? What's the difference? Linear comes from the word line. Okay? Linear comes from the word line, and non-linear means not a line. So how do we define linear and non-linear? Projects which are not interactive, okay, that follow from start to the end, that don't allow you to jump in between anywhere. These are called non-linear. They go as if they're in a straight line. Okay, sorry, these are called linear. Did I say non-linear? No, I meant linear. These are called linear. For example, a movie. You watch a movie from start to finish. Any other way, it would not make any sense, right? If you just kept forwarding and rewinding, it wouldn't make sense. That's why you can't really just jump from anywhere to move. You can forward, rewind, but you're still going in a linear fashion. Forward, rewind. So a movie is considered as linear. It's non-interactive. You watch it from start to end. You follow a straight path. Projects where users are given more control over the multimedia are non-linear because they're interactive. User can jump from one place to another. So a website would be non-linear. The site that we visited, the Apollo, I could click on anything, right? I could choose to watch um, uh, some photos, right? I could click on another link and watch something else. So I could choose where I want to go. It's more interactive. This is non-linear. So a project which has some control, which has given some control to the user, where the user can click randomly and go anywhere, this type of project is known as non-linear. Example, a website or a game. In a game as well, you can decide where your how you want to control this game, how fast you go, how you slow you go, you turn left, you turn right, how you interact with the elements within the game, you decide yourself. So this has more control to the user, and this is non-linear. Okay, so you can see the graphic of linear, follow one after the other. Non-linear, you can randomly jump from one page to another. Your choice. You have full control over how you want to navigate through this website or game. Okay, take a look at this picture. Does that picture mean anything to you? Confusing. Looks like a comic, right? Looks like a comic where you see scenes. This happens first, this happens second, this happens third, and so on. So whenever any multimedia project is created, whether it's a game, whether it's a movie, whether it's animation, whether it's a website, A lot of design is involved before the actual building phase. And this design involves drawing graphics or sketches that show you what should happen first. What should the first scene look like? What should the second scene look like? What should the third scene look like? And so on. What do you think this type of diagram or this type of graphic or sketch is known as? Let me explain that again. A graphic that helps designers of multimedia projects put their imagination on a piece of paper and show their clients or show their team what each step of the animation or the movie looks like. I don't know if you've seen the making of any movies or so on. Every movie that you see will have something called a script with, scene one, this is what will happen. Scene two, this is what will happen. If you go to any organization that make advertisements, first of all, they will come up with the idea or theme of the advertisement, then they will try to put it on paper. Scene one, this is what will happen. They will try to draw a graphic saying scene one, this is what happens. Scene two, this is what happens, and so on. And that becomes a sketch, a drawing that they can present to their client and show this to their client. See, this is our concept for this advertisement, or this is our concept for this movie. What do you think? Because obviously they don't want to spend too much and actually create the multimedia project and the client does not like it, right? So they try to put it on a graphic, on a piece of paper, show their imagination, what they're imagining this movie or this advertisement or this game or this website will look like on a piece of paper. So my question, what is this diagram known as? I'll give you a few options. Is it a storyboard, a story frame, a wireframe, or a flowchart? Well, for those who said storyboard, that's the correct answer. So this is called a storyboard. A storyboard is basically graphics such as series of illustrations or images displaying the sequence of how the animation or picture or the website or interactivity will look like. It puts a visualization to their imagination. Whatever the designers are imagining that they will create, their creative imagination, they try to put it on paper through a drawing, which hardly costs much. As you can see, this storyboard is just hand sketch. Okay, this would save a lot of money when the client says, no, I don't want this to happen. Let's make this scene, or let's cut out this scene. So that could save them a lot of money. Okay, once the storyboard is finalized, then they go into production. Question, another question. Okay, definitely when you're dealing with multimedia, you're dealing with many different types of media. Text, graphics, audio, video, and you need different types of software, right, to manage these multimedia elements. Like you need a software to edit and manage graphics, a software to edit and manage sound, a software for movie. What are these software called? There's a term for this software. Are these called development software, authoring tools, programming software, or publishing tools? What do you think? Definitely they're not programming, because we're not programming anything. We're just creating and editing something, right? We're creating a graphic or editing a graphic, creating a sound file or editing a sound file, basically managing these. So these tools are known as authoring tools. So answer is number B, authoring tools. Authoring tools allow you to manage those multimedia elements and also allow you to combine more than one media element. So you can combine sound and video and text and graphics and interactivity all together in one project. So there will be a separate authoring tool to manage graphics, separate authoring tool to manage your video, separate authoring tool to manage your audio, and there will be an authoring tool that helps you put all of this together. Okay, but these are